What if I told you that the opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup might not go the way most fans expect? Most people are already writing South Africa off. Most predictions are heavily favoring Mexico, and on paper, that makes perfect sense. Mexico are playing at home. They have the crowd, they have the experience, they have the history. But World Cup opening matches have a habit of producing surprises. And if you remember the last time these two nations met on football's biggest stage, you'll know exactly why this match deserves a much closer look. Today, we're breaking down Mexico versus South Africa. We'll look at team form, key players, tactical battles, hidden weaknesses, and finally reveal our score prediction. And trust me, one statistic completely changed my mind about this game. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the pressure, because this isn't just another group stage match. This is the opening game of the FIFA World Cup. Millions of people around the world will be watching. The stadium will be packed. The atmosphere will be electric. And every player will know that a mistake could become one of the most replayed moments of the entire tournament. For Mexico, the pressure is even greater. They're not just playing in the World Cup, they're hosting it. That means expectations are sky high. Fans aren't expecting a good performance, they're expecting a win. Anything less could create panic before the tournament is even properly begun. But history tells us something interesting. Opening games are often far tighter than people expect. Teams play cautiously, players feel nerves, managers avoid risks, and sometimes the underdog benefits from that tension. Which brings us to South Africa, a team that many people are underestimating, and that's exactly why they could be dangerous. Now let's look at Mexico. When people think of Mexican football, they think of passion, energy, technical quality, and one of the loudest fan bases in world football. Mexico consistently qualify for World Cups. They regularly compete against top nations, and unlike many teams in this tournament, they know how to handle the spotlight. The heart of this team is Captain Edson Alvarez. He's the kind of player every successful team needs. Strong, disciplined, aggressive, a leader. He protects the defense and controls the rhythm of the game. And if Mexico dominate possession tonight, chances are Edson Alvarez will be one of the biggest reasons why. Then there's Raul Jimenez, a player whose career has seen incredible highs and painful setbacks. Many thought his best years were behind him, but he's fought back. And now he enters this World Cup with the chance to become a national hero. Opening matches often produce iconic moments. Could this be Raul Jimenez's moment? Possibly. But there's another player who could steal the spotlight. Julian Quinones. His pace, his movement, his ability to attack defenders one-on-one. These qualities make him one of Mexico's most dangerous weapons. And against a South African defense that could spend long periods without the ball, his speed could become a major problem. But here's where things get interesting. Mexico are favorites. Yet being favorites can sometimes become a disadvantage. Because when expectations are high, every missed chance feels bigger. Every mistake feels heavier. And if the crowd becomes nervous, players can feel it. That psychological pressure could play a bigger role than many fans realize. Now let's talk about South Africa, the team everyone seems to be overlooking. And honestly, that could be their greatest strength. Because nobody expects them to win. Nobody expects them to dominate, which means all the pressure sits firmly on Mexico's shoulders. South Africa arrived with discipline, organization, and belief. Their goalkeeper, Ronwen Williams, has become one of the most respected shot stoppers in African football. In big tournaments, goalkeepers often become heroes. And if South Africa are going to pull off something special, Williams will likely need a huge performance. Then there's Teboho Mokoena, a midfielder who does the dirty work, breaking attacks, winning possession, covering ground. Players like him rarely make headlines, but they often decide matches. If he can disrupt Mexico's midfield rhythm, the game becomes far more competitive than many people expect. And don't forget Lyle Foster. The striker possesses pace, power, and the ability to exploit defensive mistakes. Opening games are usually decided by small moments. One misplaced pass, one defensive error, one counterattack. And Foster is exactly the type of player who can punish those mistakes. But perhaps the most fascinating part of this story is the history between these two nations. Think back to 2010. South Africa hosted the World Cup. The opening game? South Africa versus Mexico. And what happened? The match ended in a draw. Many expected Mexico to win comfortably, but South Africa shocked the football world by competing toe-to-toe. That game became one of the most memorable opening matches in World Cup history. Now, 16 years later, we have the same fixture again. Different players, different tournament, different circumstances. Yet the storyline feels strangely familiar. Mexico enter as favorites, South Africa enter as underdogs. And football fans everywhere are wondering whether history could repeat itself. Let's talk tactics. Mexico will likely dominate possession, expect them to control the ball, push their fullbacks forward, and create overloads in wide areas. They'll want to stretch South Africa's defensive shape and create space between the lines. Their objective is simple: score early. Because an early goal changes everything. If Mexico score in the first 20 minutes, South Africa will be forced to attack more aggressively. That opens spaces. And Mexico are extremely dangerous when given space. But if South Africa survive the opening stages, that's where things get interesting. Because every minute that passes without a Mexican goal increases the pressure. The crowd becomes restless, the players become anxious, and suddenly the underdog starts believing. South Africa's approach will probably be much more compact. Stay organized, stay disciplined, defend deep, wait for opportunities, and attack quickly in transition. They don't need 20 chances. They may only need one or two. That's the nature of tournament football. Now let's discuss the biggest battle on the pitch: Mexico's attack versus South Africa's defensive structure. If Mexico move the ball quickly enough, they can create openings. But if South Africa remain compact and deny central spaces, frustration could begin to build. The longer the game stays level, the more pressure shifts toward Mexico. And that's where mentality becomes crucial. Championship teams find ways to win difficult games. Average teams panic. Tonight, we find out which version of Mexico shows up. Another factor many people are ignoring is fatigue. Players have just completed long club seasons. Some arrive carrying minor injuries. Others are physically exhausted. Opening matches often look slower than expected because players are still adjusting to tournament intensity. That could make this game tighter than many prediction models suggest. So what does all this mean? Let's summarize. Mexico have the stronger squad. Mexico have home advantage. Mexico have more tournament experience. Mexico have more attacking quality. But South Africa have freedom. They have less pressure, they have a dangerous counterattack, and they have the memory of causing problems for Mexico before. That's why this match is not as predictable as many people think. Now it's time for the prediction. After analyzing the squads, tactics, pressure, atmosphere, and historical context, here's what I believe will happen. South Africa will start cautiously. Mexico will control possession. The opening 20 minutes will be tense. Mexico will create chances, but South Africa will defend bravely. Eventually, Mexico's quality should begin to show. I expect a breakthrough before halftime. South Africa will respond with determination and create a few dangerous moments of their own. The second half will become more open, and that's where Mexico's attacking depth could make the difference. Final prediction: Mexico 2, South Africa 1. A competitive game, a nervous game, a dramatic game, but ultimately, Mexico should have just enough quality to begin their World Cup campaign with a victory. However, if South Africa can survive the first half without conceding, don't be surprised if we witness the first major shock of the tournament. Because World Cups have a funny way of creating moments nobody expects. And this opening match might just be the beginning. What's your prediction? Will Mexico start their World Cup with a win, or will South Africa shock the world? Let me know in the comments. And subscribe for daily World Cup predictions, tactical analysis, breaking football news, and match reactions throughout the tournament. The road to World Cup glory starts now.